It's hard to operate stateful distributed systems at scale, and Redis is no exception. Managed databases make life easier by taking on much of the heavy lifting. But you still need a sound architecture and apply best practices both on the server, Redis, as well as the client application. This blog covers a range of Redis-related best practices, tips and tricks including cluster scalability, client-side configuration, integration, metrics, etc. Although I will be citing Amazon MemoryDB and ElastiCache for Redis from time to time, most, if not all, will be applicable to Redis clusters in general. This is not meant to be an exhaustive list by any means. I simply chose 10 since it's a nice, wholesome number. Let's dive right in and start off with what options you have in terms of scaling your Redis cluster. 1. Scalability options. You can either scale up or down. Scaling up vertical. You can increase the capacity of individual nodes/instances for e.g. upgrade from Amazon EC2 DB. R6G. Large type to DB. R6G. 2's large scaling out, horizontal. You can add more nodes to the cluster. The requirement to scale out might be driven by a few reasons. If you need to tackle a read-heavy workload, you can choose to add more replica nodes. This applies both for a Redis clustered setup, like MemoryDB, or a non-clustered primary replica mode, as in the case of ElastiCache with cluster mode disabled. If you want to increase write capacity, you will find yourself limited by the primary replica mode and should opt for a Redis cluster-based setup. You can increase the number of shards in your cluster. This is because only primary nodes can accept writes and each shard can only have one primary. This has the added benefit of increasing the overall high availability as well. 2. After scaling your cluster, you better use those replicas. The default behavior in most Redis cluster clients, including Redis CLI, is to redirect all reads to the primary node. If you have added red replicas to scale red traffic, they are going to sit idle. You need to switch to read-only mode to ensure that the replicas handle all the read requests and are not just passive participants. Make sure to configure your Redis client appropriately. This will vary with the client and programming language. For example, in the Go Redis client, you can set read-only to true, client equals Redis. New cluster client Redis. Cluster options address, string cluster endpoint, read-only, true, //. Other options, to optimize further, you can also use root by latency or root randomly, both. You can refer to how this works for Java clients such as Redis 3. Be mindful of consistency characteristics. When using read replicas, there is a chance that your application might read stale data from replicas. This is eventual consistency in action. Since the primary replica node replication is asynchronous, there is a chance that the writer you sent to a primary node has not yet been reflected in the read replica. This is likely when you have a high number of red replicas, especially across multiple availability zones. If this is unacceptable for your use case, you will have to resort to using primary nodes for reads as well. The replication lag metric in MemoryDB or ElastiCache for Redis can be used to check how far behind, in seconds, the replica is in applying changes from the primary node. Thanks for watching. Please subscribe.